Hello. First video. I'm going to be doing book reviews. I don't know. I want to talk to someone about the books I like. And, yeah. So this is Franz Kafka's collection of stories. I've been reading a lot of these, and Kafka really interests me. I feel like, I don't know exactly why. He just depicts the feelings of depression, hopelessness very well, a lot of times in the pressures of modern day masculine roles within society and the need to be a provider and what exactly that means, like whether getting an office job or raising a family or getting married. And I feel like he definitely raises that a lot, but I feel like one big problem with his stories is that you can't really read them and understand them without actually getting a bigger context on his life, reading through his letters, reading his other stories, because like Metamorphosis, for example, I feel like if you just read that, you would kind of get a general idea, but I feel like it's not the best story because I feel like it doesn't get across his points very well, and I feel like you're not really going to understand why certain things happen unless you understand Kafka. Like, for example, throughout most of his books, the dad is always this extremely terrifying, mean person who's cold and distant. And this is because in real life, his father was just very, very distant. And he was a traditional Jewish man who Kafka felt like he couldn't really live up to that whole thing. He was a sad man, definitely. I prefer his shorter stories in it. Metamorphosis, I liked it. It was fine, not my favorite. I feel like the short stories are more like, they're like a half a page long. They're essentially like parables. They feel like puzzles. You have to read them over and over again, looking at different perspectives. And I mean, usually people say that things don't have hidden meanings in them, but I feel like a lot of times they really do. And it's very interesting. Like, one of his stories is called The Starving Artist, and it has a starving man who does starving as just a form of art, and he thinks it's this form of self-expression by bringing himself out here starving to death. And then he does it, and then eventually everyone stops paying attention, and he thinks that he could do it more to get more attention, and because he thinks that he needs to master his art form. So then he does, and everyone just ignores him. Then he just starves to death, and before he dies, he said, honestly, I just didn't really like food. And I feel like that is a very interesting story. I feel like it most likely symbolizes portraying a self-destructiveness to society as some sort of artfulness or deepness. Like, look at me, I'm so broken, therefore I'm... performative sadness, I guess, would be the word. Maybe, like... I'm trying to find the proper word for... I guess one term for it would be romanticizing mental illness, like trying to turn it into some sort of display. And I feel that in the end, he shows that, I just didn't like food, and it was just this simple answer that was behind everything, and it wasn't even that deep of anything, which I feel like is supposed to represent a lot of art, when in reality it's just a simple thing, which... might be kind of ironic if I'm completely wrong about this and I'm looking at a simple thing that I'm overcomplicated, but I don't know, it's part of the fun of it. A lot of it, I like them, but some of his stories, there's not really much of a point in reading because there's only fragments of them. Sometimes there's pages missing and that have never really been recovered, but altogether, I really like him. He appeals to me a lot. And yeah, give it a read. I got this for about $3 on eBay. I mean, just get a couple of his stories. I think you'll like it.